Welcome to the forgotten world of movie-based video games. Do you remember back in the early 2000s when every movie had its own video game? This is something I grew up with and I have a lot of nostalgia for, and I'm sure you do too. I wanted to look back at a few movie-based video games that always stood out to me. In my opinion, these type of games come in three categories. First is the straight-up movie tie-in game. That's when they made a game that's basically a shot-for-shot retelling of the film. Next, we have games that enhance the story by implementing its own changes and creating something almost independent of the film. And lastly, we have shameless cash grabs. Today, I'm going to start with one of the most iconic movie games ever made, Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. I saw this joint in theaters. That's how old I am. Yo! Yo! That's so tough. That's so tough. Let's go. Okay. That's one of the best game openings I've ever seen. Now, if you ask anybody about this game, they'll tell you it's one of the greatest movie games of all time. And honestly, I get it. This game feels like the movie, sounds like the movie, and even has some of the greatest moments from the movie. You're not watching Lord of the Rings, you're actually in it. I'm about to be in tears right now. Like, I just started it. It's already 10 out of 10. You're fighting through full-on battlefields. You got Gandalf casting spells, Aragorn going crazy, Legolas not missing a single shot, and the co-op, prime. Yeah, this was one of those games where if you had a second controller, you could be locked in for hours. I remember playing this with my cousins back in the day, bro. This is one of those cousins games. But looking back now, I'm not gonna lie, this game is not as smooth as I remember. I promise you, the only thing people remember from this game is the co-op and the iconic character select screen. Okay, now we can play as different characters? Thank God. First of all, this game is incredibly hard. Like, I'm getting jumped by 40 arcs at a time, arrows flying, trolls, everything is going on at once and I don't know what to do. The game is just like, yeah, go ahead, figure it out. Back up. Fuck y'all. Fuck these orcs. I'm so tired of these orcs, bro. They take so long to kill. I'm gonna fail the game because I can't get past them. Like, shit. One level you feel like a warrior. The next level you're a hobbit, feeling like you're gonna get folded in 30 seconds. Bro, I hate playing as the hobbits, bro. Like, why would they start the game off with the two characters that you don't want to play as? Gandalf and fucking Sam Genji? Like, you kidding me with this? See, look, if you look at the top right corner, there's a timer. When that timer goes off, I fail. If I die, I fail. And I'm not powerful enough to fight these shits because I'm a fucking hobbit. They're shooting arrows, everything at me, bro. I'm literally just a hobbit. And the craziest part to me, which is an absolute oversight, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I could not find a pause button. Nothing I pressed would stop this game. Can I pause? I can't pause this joint or what? They're like, nah, it's too cinematic. How do I pause? Is there no pause button? There's no pause button, bro? What's happening here? I don't think people remember this. You cannot pause the game mid-level. Hold on, I gotta figure out how to pause, bro. How do you pause in this game? Like, what the fuck? Let me, like, do you remember this, Chewy? How do you pause in this game? I literally cannot pause to save my life. See, if your mom called you or somebody knocked on the door, that's it. You're done. Back to square one. I don't remember playing this whole game without pausing. Imagine that, bro. Like, our parents were pissed we start playing this shit. Like, Mom, we can't pause. I swear. On top of that, you're literally forced to watch the entire film while playing. And I understand they pay a lot of money for the rights to the film. Oh, this whole thing plays whether I like it or not. I thought I could skip it. Nah, you can't skip this. You gotta let this whole joint play. They pay good money for this cutscene, Playboy. This game just does not stop. You start to feel stuck. Editing this footage was actually easy because out of the 2 hours I played this game, I basically experienced 20 minutes of raw gameplay. They don't let you skip these cutscenes. Like, you gotta sit there and watch the entire movie when you play this game. They don't fuck around. The way this game really had you scheduling your life around Middle Earth is actually crazy. The only thing truly saving it was the cool transitions between movie and gameplay, which was actually insane for PS2 standards. You love that about the game though. Me too. And those slick ass transitions never get old. because even with all that, people still remember it as one of the best, which shows us just how strong the core game actually was. This is one of the levels I remember. I remember this level specifically. Bro, what? I'm just like in nostalgia heaven right now. I can't even lie to you. Hearing all the music. This is how you do a movie game. So this is what a game looks like when it stays completely loyal to the film. But what happens when a game doesn't just follow the movie? Instead decides to continue it. Scarface, the world is yours. Yeah, this is where things get interesting for me. Let's play the game that defined a generation. A generation of bad kids and unks everywhere. Because instead of the game retelling the movie, this game straight up says, what if Tony Montana didn't die? That alone is already crazy. I actually like the concept of this game. It's literally what happens if Tony lived. Yes, that's exactly what it is. It starts off the first mission. You gotta fight your way out that mansion gunfight. And then you gotta go sell rocks. And then the game takes it even further. What? No balls? What? My net worth got dropped like that? Damn. Hold on. So in this story, Tony gotta start back from the bottom again. You gotta get out the mud. You can do it once, you can do it again, ain't no problem. You can tell this game was made with love. The locations are so accurate, the names, the quotes, it's all there. The tiger. W reference. This game wasn't a cash grab. The Scarface movie came out 20 years before this game was ever thought of. So they were in no rush to crank it out, and it shows. I think this is one of the best ways to do a movie game because it's not just recreating the story. It's expanding on the story, but also letting you enjoy the locations and the characters from before. Like, this is so cool, bro. Like, I know this area because I've seen the movie so many times. I know all the little references, like this little photo right here. This is the guy that gets killed in the movie. This is one of the best ways to do it, man. This wasn't just another movie game. This is basically a full-on empire builder. Scarface. We can start rebuilding our empire. Nice. We got the first S of Scarface. You're buying properties, running deals, managing your reputation. Like, this game had systems. And the craziest part, they all actually work. Alright, I got 0 reputation. I got 2 exotics. I got no balls, no drugs. And I got $1,000 for my name. Time to flip this brick, bro. What really carries this game for me was the atmosphere. Everything feels authentic. The music, the dialogue, the way Tony talks to people. I feel like I could really live in this world. Okay, this game is tight, dude. Now we got our music. We got our Cadillac. Riding around Miami in the 80s. What could be better than this? And I'm not gonna lie, as a kid, I had no business understanding what any of this meant. Like, they had us flipping bricks from day one. But hey, that's what kept me so locked in. Hey, this is a good deal, man. 10,000? 10,000 just like that? We flipped 2 bricks and now we're back up. And this is what makes it so different, enhancing the film. It does not just rely on the film, it builds on it. It takes a character everyone knows and gives you control over what happens next. That's something most movie games don't even try to do. Yo, imagine if Scarface existed in 2020, in 2026. So, like, what do you think he'd be doing? I feel like if Scarface existed today, he'd be doing live streams. He'd be like an NPC on TikTok and like referencing his lines. Like, for every rose, he like has to say a line from the movie. So instead of feeling like a cash grab, this feels like an extension of the film. You wanna play games? I'll play with you. You wanna play rap? Say hello to my little friend. Yeah. But not every game had that same level of care put into it. Because sometimes you can tell a game was made just because the movie was coming out. And here's where it starts to fall apart. Now we're going to talk about some games that maybe shouldn't have been made in the first place. So now we're going to talk about some cash grabs. We're going to start with Shrek the Third. And I'm gonna be honest right now, this game feels completely rushed. I want to finish off the marathon of playing movie games with a classic, Shrek. And unfortunately, we're not playing the good one. As you can see here, it's already pretty bad. From the very first moment you start the game, you can tell something is not quite right. What the?
Once more, with feeling.
I'm already overstimulated. Like, I don't like the way that shit assaulted my ears. The combat is extremely repetitive. The levels feel very empty. And everything just feels off. Yeah, Puss in Boots gameplay for the win. Let me see the finisher. Oh, that was lame. You gotta have something better than that, bro. It honestly feels like they were making the game and the movie simultaneously and they didn't know what was going to be in the final product. So why does this game run perfectly in gameplay form but runs like shit on the cutscenes? So shouldn't that be the easiest part? You can tell this game doesn't exist because someone had a great idea. This game had a contractual obligation to come out. They needed something on the shelves and that was it. A lot of these movie games were extremely rushed back in the day. As soon as the movie came out, we got the new game. There was just no time to make it good or anything. Don't get me wrong, as a kid, I definitely played it. I had this game on the DS and that's by far not the best way to play. And I went back to the PS2 version and I can't say it was any better. You know, I actually played Shrek the Third. I'm lying. I played this on DS. And the DS game was not like this. I remember the DS game was like a side scroller. That was the thing. They would make a movie game back then and it would come out on every single console. That shit would be the Wii, the PS2, the Game Boy. We all know how good Shrek 2 was. That was my very first video game ever and I have a lot of nostalgia for it. But Shrek 3, god awful. This game looks fast as shit. When you say that, it makes so much sense. It does. It does. He's moving so fast. Like, why? Bro's got impeccable speed. Bro, it's going so quickly, dude. Like, dog, I want to see speedruns of this shit now. You know what? I'm about to be a Shrek the Third speedrunner from now on. I need to tap into the speedrunning community, bro. Like, what's the world record for this shit? Like, I'm really curious, dog. This game is so bad, I really couldn't spend too long on it, and I had to switch to something I actually have some nostalgia for. So the next one we're gonna talk about is Madagascar. Man, 2000s, DreamWorks was on a generational run, bro. They couldn't do no wrong back then. I remember loving this game so much, bro. Madagascar. Now this one, I know a lot of people have nostalgia for, and so do I. This is a game I beat several times as a kid. On my original PS2, I had no memory card, so I played this game probably 3 or 4 times without ever being able to save my progress. Oh my god, yes. Okay, this has actually made me happy a little bit. And to be fair, this game is not terrible. I mean, some of the cutscenes are dull and the voice acting isn't quite to movie standards, but this was definitely not the worst one.
Wow!
Yo, that was a serious jump scare.
Oh, jeez.
He smells funny.
Gameplay jump scare.
Smack dab in the middle of wonderful New York.
It has a lot of variety. There's some great mini games. It never really bores you too much. Bro, there's actually so many memories I have from this game. There's like a penguin mini game that I used to play over and over. Yeah. This literally fascinated me to no end. Just literally damn near condemning these men to death as a penguin. This was peak. I like the idea of switching between the characters and they all have their own unique abilities. When I was a kid, I always had this memory of playing Melman because he had the helicopter spin attack. Yeah. This level was so cool to me, bro. Like when I was a kid, I was like, man, this is like badass. Like I get to play as Melman. I'm doing helicopter spin moves in New York. When you really look at it, This is one of those games that's doing a little bit of everything, and none of it is especially well done. Why did I think that was so fun? Like, it's so basic, dude. The controls are a bit loose. The objectives are kind of all over the place. It never really has a clear identity. It's like they couldn't really decide on what kind of game they wanted to make, so they just said, yes. Bro, I remember this being so like impactful as a kid. Like, I remember like this being like an intense mission. Like, oh my god, like we're really about to break out of the zoo. Like, I remember thinking this was like, holy shit. But then again, it works because of the movie. I mean, it's extremely faithful. It has all the scenes from the zoo to the boat to the island. Everything is there. You recognize the character. You recognize the world. So you're pretty much sticking with it. Bro, this game, I mean, part of it is nostalgic, but also this game is so childlike, dude. But if this game didn't have that Madagascar name attached to it, I don't think anybody would remember it. The game's got to think about what it wants to do. So the game just decided it's done here. Guess we skip. Okay. The game is completely glitched. And then there's the game that people defend the most. One that everyone says, nah, this was actually good. Let's talk about it. Now, I have some vague memories with it, but I'm telling you, this game is deceitful with this nostalgia. I played the demo that came with the Madagascar disc, and you can just tell this is a low budget movie with even less of a budget for a game. Over the Hedge demo? Whoa. Yeah, let's check this out. Let's check this out. I'm really curious about this. I remember the Over the Hedge game. I wonder if this is gonna spark some memories too. This game had some personality. The characters are fun. It makes you feel like you're part of the movie because everything is there. Dude, I think this is coming back to me, bro. I feel like, oh my god, this is so much nostalgia. Yo, okay. This is coming back to me. I definitely have played this. It makes you feel like you're part of the movie, but looking back, it's basically a collection of mini games. You're doing small missions, simple mechanics. Nothing really evolves or builds over time. Why are so many enemies on screen? Bro, I can't even understand what's happening here. Huh? I don't know what's going on right now. I'm stimulated as fuck. I don't know if I'm winning or losing. What is this? I went to sleep for some reason. And that's where nostalgia tricks you. Because yes, it's charming, it's memorable. But it's still built around one thing. Getting a game out while a movie is hot. Yeah, this game is, I can't believe they're trying to advertise a demo for this. This is dog shit. And how many of us actually sat there and watched Over the Hedge with new eyes, with adult eyes? Because I certainly have not. This is like a crack house game, dude. Like, this is a crack house movie and a crack house game. But anyways, that's what all these games have in common. They're not bad, they're just a little broken. They almost feel abandoned, like somebody didn't care. They're just products. Products of their time. This was like a pipeline, bro. So like they make the movie, then they make the game, then they preview the next movie and the next game in the game that you bought. So it's like multi-levels. It's like get the product, play the product, advertise the product. Back then, every movie needed a game. It didn't matter if the idea was good or not. If the movie was dropping, so was the game. Yeah, this game has no soul, I'm not gonna lie. We might remember a lot of them as classics, but looking back now, many of them were just really well disguised cash grabs. Yeah, no more movie games for a while. I don't care if it's a good one. It's just it gets so tiring after a while. It's exhausting with these, but for the most part, I did have fun on this journey. Reflecting back on it, this era was very interesting. They pumped out a lot of slop. We did get some good games. We get some mid games, but overall, movie games were a staple of our childhoods, and it's fun to always look back and see our roots. Let me know what other movie games you remember because I know everyone has played at least one.